Radhe Radhe, happy Easter everyone, and welcome to our recap video that Mummy and I are now recording for today's Bhagavad Gita study session on Sunday, April 17, 2022.
Radhe Radhe.
As always, we started off with a quiz, so I'll go ahead and share the cover slide, went through some hopefully interesting or creative or humorous questions, and then we covered Chapter 5, verses 12 and 13. Chapter 5, verse 12, offer it all back, being the catchphrase with the keyword being back. We get everything from God. So if we offer anything back, in addition to the purity that we seek of our heart, then it's all going back to God. It's not coming from us to God. So just a reminder on the emphasis of the word back. In terms of the commentary, we saw here that Sri Krishna continues to encourage Arjuna to understand that karma yogis can offer the result of their activities to God, and in so doing that, they can attain everlasting peace. As you might expect, in contrast, somebody who seeks material desires and rewards, they're going to get entangled in those karmic reactions. Two important words in Sanskrit we learned here were yukt and the opposite, ayukt. So yukt meaning united in consciousness with God, or also as Swamiji describes, somebody who doesn't want any reward other than the important one, which we saw last week in chapter 5, verse 11, that singular purpose or goal of purification of the heart or self-purification. The opposite, of course, ayukt, somebody not united in consciousness with God, and in fact, who's always seeking mundane or material rewards, which do not help with self-purification, and they're not beneficial to the soul. The English word I would like everybody to take away this time is beatitude, which is really referring to supreme bliss, supreme blessedness, or happiness. So that is briefly chapter 5, verse 12. And then chapter 5, verse 13, we saw the pun with the use of S versus C, Siddhi of 9 gates, a new phrase that Sri Krishna has used in chapter 5, verse 13 to describe the body being a city of 9 gates. We talked briefly about what those 9 gates are physically, physiologically, as well as the equanimity or balance that we need to maintain through all the sensory perceptions that enter and leave the body. We also talked briefly about the Srimad Bhagavatam reference to King Puranjana, the story of him as a king being the soul, and then the queen being the intellect, the bodyguards, the serpents, the senses, mind, etc. So that analogy or allegory or story as well. Again, with everything, the takeaway here for chapter 5, verse 13 being that Sri Krishna explicitly states that we are not the doers or the cause of anything. And in fact, next time when we meet 2 weeks from now, we'll actually see, as Swamiji says in the commentary in italics, that if we are not the doer or the cause of anything, then is God the doer or the actual cause of actions? So we'll see that in a couple of weeks. But for now, the important thing again is to understand that we seek to not be identified or misidentified with the body. We are the souls, but entrapped or embodied in the corporeal form. It is a city of 9 gates, but in that city sits also the Supreme Lord. So we briefly saw Sakshi Bhav, the element of trying to be an observer or witness to all that's happening around us. We talked about Shakespeare, all the world's a stage, all of us mere players, as well as the picture here for the 2 birds that we'll see much later again, certainly in chapter 13, maybe before that as well. So the element of being an observer or a witness. Mummy, I'll pass it on to you.
Thank you, Gagan. First, I will talk about 2 important words today, Sanskrit words. First one is Nashtikam. Nashtikim. Nashtikim means everlasting. That is the kind of peace we are looking for. And only karma yogis can attain that kind of peace. And then Another important word is nibaddhyate. Nibaddhyate means we get entangled. But to get that everlasting peace, we don't want to get entangled in the um, reactions of our karma. And how we do not get entangled? By giving away the fruits of actions, by not being attached to the fruits of our actions. Let's learn to get Neshtikim, everlasting peace, by not getting entangled. So we learn Nibaddhyate. We should not get entangled in the reactions of our karma. So this is something very important to learn from this verse. And the next verse, I want you to learn the meaning of Navdware Pure. Navdware means 9 gates. Pure means the city. So now God has given us this city which has 9 gates. And through these 9 gates, it's up to us what kind of information we absorb from this universe, what are the nice things we see from eyes, how do we really regulate our own physiological processes by being more sattvic, both in thoughts, in food, in exercise, in meditation, in yoga. These are the different learnings on our spiritual path that we can really balance our body and our thoughts and be in an equanimous situation whereby we slowly learn to be in that meditative situation all the time, where we become totally as a witness to what all is happening around us. And once we are in that situation, we are in that Sakshi Bhav, we become the witness, keeping ourselves fully surrendered to God and in acceptance of everything. So we will be able to live very nicely in this city of 9 gates, which is also the house of that Supreme Soul, our individual soul and the Supreme Soul, Paramatma, Atma and Paramatma. And once we start looking, once we start facing towards that Paramatma, that means we are in acceptance of what all that Supreme Soul has decided for us. And once we are surrendered to that Supreme Soul, we will automatically start feeling that we are in a Sakshi Bhav. We are just witnessing everything happening. And of course, we are doing this as Karma Yogis. We are putting in our best effort, but not worrying about the rewards, the mundane rewards. So that's the crux of this verse number 13. I hope it helps to understand, and everybody can do more introspection, and we can come up with more discussion on this verse.
Yes, and again, as a reminder, just an unplanned segue we saw towards the end of class, that the word here from Saint Tulsidas Subhaya, we'll see it, in fact, the next time we meet in 2 weeks, we'll see Swabhav in chapter 5, verse 14. So we'll hold on for that and talk more about gunas and the 3 modes of material nature that we briefly alluded to in today's class. With that, again, just another announcement again, everybody, that next week, starting on Friday, 22nd April itself, the inauguration of CICE is going to take place with Swamiji in town. His discourses all 3 days, lots of activities for this milestone event, Mahaprasad as well. So we hope all of you can take part either in person or virtually. So that's Friday, 22nd April, all the way through Sunday, 24th April. Therefore, we shall not meet in class next Sunday. We shall meet 2 weeks from the time of this video. So that is Sunday, 1st May, 2022. Till then, as Mummy said, continue as much study and introspection as you can. And we hope that that is fruitful, but in a spiritual sense. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. And on 24th, we are going for a 5K walk with Swamiji for that funding, crowdfunding for his noble cause of the university and hospital in remote Odisha. So our page also continues to be there. We have a lofty target to fulfill. And so we request all of you to further share it with your friends, whoever can contribute even a little bit, that will go a long way. Thank you very much. Radhe Radhe.